Steve McMahon, and former RNC Chairman Michael Steele, who's also an MSNBC analyst. Mr. Steele,
yes,
here's
sir.
Rush Limbaugh that started it all with his show yesterday. Well, he's the spiritual leader you guys are all afraid to offend, so here he is. Let's listen to him on this issue of who's a slut and who isn't. Let's go.
What does it say about the college co-ed Susan Fluke, who goes before a congressional committee and essentially says that she must be paid to have sex? What does that make her? It makes her a slut, right? Makes her a prostitute. She wants to be paid to have sex.
You know, this cost Don Imus a lot of career, career, this kind of talk, calling people sluts, whores, this kind of stuff.
Well,
I just wonder about this guy who you guys all bow before as the great Alexa Henty, the one who approves or disapproves your crop of thinking every year. Are you going to take him on, or are you going to be out there all alone, or what?
Well, you know, I've already gotten in trouble on that front porch. And remember, you know, I tried to put in context when asked as chairman, you know, what does Rush Limbaugh mean to the party? Well, it means a lot of different things to people, and I think in this instance, I think a lot of people have a problem with it. I mean, I'm sure his lawyers are having a conversation with him about the fact that this young woman may have something to say about what he called her on national radio. Now, you put it in the context of hyperbole and entertainment and you know, free speech, but there are lines, and when you're having a national political discussion, you know, the political parties have to be sure that they clearly distinguish where they are and where the entertainment picks up. And I think in this particular case, that line's been crossed. I don't think Republicans are standing here saying, yeah, we agree with Rush on this, because I think it's above the pale. It's not part of advancing the public discourse right now, the name calling and all of that. So I have to put it in the category of entertainment, because
okay, well,
I
understand why you're doing that. I think you've got I think you're a great guy, obviously, Michael, and I think you do know the difference. But I think let's bring in Steve. I don't think every Republican thinks of this guy as Entertainer of the Year. They listen to his spiritual, ideological comfort 3 hours a day on the radio, and they buy his act.
I don't think that's true. Not every Republican.
I'm waiting to see one Republican elected official go after this guy. Steve.
Yeah, Michael, listen to Michael, I love you, man, but he sounded today like a vile, disgusting pervert who had come completely unglued on the radio. You know, I cannot believe what he said. I cannot believe that he'll get away with it. And I cannot believe that it won't cost him millions of dollars in a slander suit that if this woman is smart, she'll bring tomorrow morning. It was outrageous, and I can't believe, frankly, he hasn't apologized for it already. There's nothing entertaining about disparaging misogyny, and that's exactly what it was, and it was appalling, it was disgusting, and
Michael, let's go beyond entertainment.
It wasn't entertainment in any sense. In any sense of the word.
He said he wanted to see videos of her performing sex online. What's that about?
Fellas, I am not disagreeing with you. I agree exactly with what you're saying. That's why I'm saying this crosses a very, very bright line, and he would probably have to answer for it. As you said, Steve, is her lawyers. If she doesn't have one, she'll have one soon. We'll have something to say about this. But in the back and forth of the national debate, this has no place. That's the bottom
you used the term.
Michael, I think you'd agree.
Okay, we're beating a dead horse here, I think. I hope it's a dead horse. Let me go to Michael on this. You called Rush Limbaugh entertainment. Here's what I do for entertainment. I try to keep up with Mitt Romney. Okay? I try to keep up with this guy. That's my entertainment. Here he is in an interview with Jim Heath on Ohio News Network yesterday. Mitt Romney was asked a direct question. Where do you stand on this Blunt amendment? The amendment was voted down today on a party line vote, basically. It basically said you shouldn't apply the health care bill of Barack Obama to coverage of birth control. He said very directly he was against the bill and laid out why. Let's listen to the presidential frontrunner, I guess, still yesterday.
Bullet Rubio is being debated, I believe, later this week, that deals with banning or allowing employers to ban providing female contraception. Have you taken a position on it? He's said he was for that, and we'll talk about personhood in a second, but he's for that. Have you taken a position on it?
I'm not for the bill, but look, the idea of presidential candidates getting into questions about contraception within a relationship between a man and a woman, a husband and wife, I'm not going there.
So there's a principled statement. A presidential candidate should not get involved in a relationship between a man and a woman, whether he uses birth control or not. Okay. A short time later, in another radio interview with the very friendly Howie Carr, good buddy up there on the right with the Boston Herald, I guess he called him and got in there fast, Romney said he misunderstood that question. Let's listen to him with Howie Carr, a friendly interviewer.
I didn't understand his question. Of course I support the Blunt Amendment. I thought he was talking about some state law that prevented people from getting contraception. So I thought it was some Ohio legislation where employers were prevented from providing contraceptives. And so I talked about contraceptives and so forth. So I really misunderstood the question.
You know, you got to wonder about leadership here, Michael. Is this guy a leader or a follower? He's taken the woodshed. 2 hours later, he flips.
I think, Chris and Steve, I think Mitt Romney gave a very honest answer in the first instance. I think he spoke as someone who, as a former governor, has had to deal with these types of issues, and he spoke in a very honest way. And I think the pressures of the campaign and the fact that his main guy, his legislative liaison is Mr. Blunt himself, caused this retreat, if you will, on the subject. But
this is what I mean by entertainment. In other words, the candidate for President of the United States, now leading in your party's polls, has to check with his lobbyist to fill him in on where he stands on a matter of conscience.
I'm not going to let you get away with that. You're not going to sit there and put it in that context.
You put it in your context.
You know, Chris, you act like you're a nubile person to politics. You're new to politics here. This is the reality of it. He spoke in an honest moment, and then it's like, wait a minute, hold up, boom, boom, wait a minute, and they got to go back and they fix it. That's the bottom line. So I'm just telling you, that's what happened.
Who's going to be a president of the United States? Michael, who's going to be president of the United States if he gets elected? Should he get elected? It's always possible. Which guy's going to be president of the United States? The honest guy we heard from first?
Wait a minute. You act like Barack Obama hadn't had to go check through some stuff at the same time. Come on, but I'm just saying.
You're a witness. You're a witness,
I'm just saying, you guys act like the ebb and flow of a campaign, you know, doesn't matter for anything.
Michael,
when Hillary Clinton made the mistake in South Carolina, what was that?
Michael.
What? Yes,
Michael,
sir.
This isn't the ebb and flow of a campaign. This is Mitt Romney. And the problem here for Mitt Romney is this reinforces a perception that is persistent and repetitive, that he wants to have it both ways on every issue that's controversial, and that he will say, as a venture capital guy, whatever it takes to close the deal. And today, you know, you're a Republican nominee for president, or you want to be the Republican nominee for president. If somebody says Blunt-Rubio amendment, first of all, you should know what it is. And secondly, your political instinct should say, let's see, Blunt and Rubio, I'm for that. They're Republicans. They're guys that I want to have support me. I'm for that bill. This is something that's been on the front pages of every major newspaper for the past
give a chance
3
to
or 4
respond.
weeks.
Did he not know
and he doesn't know what the Blunt amendment is?
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you here. I said the man answered honestly in the first instance, and then the politics set in, and he's made the course correction. Now, to your point, Steve, I'd agree. This is part of the problem that the base has with Romney up till now. We don't know where that anchor comes to rest, and that's what he's got to fix.